Hello, this is Coach Wilson, and this is Chapter 5, Section 4. Today we're going to be talking about how a bill becomes a law. Now, step one in this process, the bill is written. Anyone can have an idea for a bill. However, it must be sponsored by a member of Congress. All right, and then after that, it is put into a draft form and is introduced to Congress by being printed in the congressional record. So essentially, we are giving a step-by-step process of how our bill becomes a law. In this congressional record, it is basically just a kind of printed document that shows all of the current proceedings of Congress for that day. It's kind of like daily proceedings. All right, but that bill will be introduced, and then the bill is sent to a standing committee. All right, and this standing committee essentially can send the bill to the next stage. They can kill the bill and say, nope, this is not, it does need to pass further, or they can pigeonhole it, which means set the bill aside for later action. Now, once the bill gets past the standing committee, the House votes on the bill. The bill is debated, voted on by either the whole House or the whole Senate, depending on where it was introduced. The bill must pass through both houses in order to become a law. Now, there are three types of voting. One is through voice, two is by standing, and three is by roll call done electronically today. So essentially, you push your little button there and you're giving your vote. Now, once the voting process has been completed, the Senate votes on the bill. The bill must pass through both houses to become a law, but the Senate can actually filibuster the law, and essentially filibuster is delaying action on a bill by making long speeches. So essentially, someone will get up saying that they're going to speak on the behalf of the bill, and they will continue to talk for as long as humanly possible. Essentially, quote unquote, as your book called it, talking the bill to death. The only way that the Senate can be limited with this debate is if at least 3/5 of the full Senate vote to limit it, which is really hard to get 60% because a lot of times it's roughly 50-50, which means that essentially it's hard to ever stop someone from filibustering if they really want to. You also have cloture, which is limiting how much time is spent on debating a bill, and that is kind of getting into what we were talking about right there. All right, now step number 5. If either house makes changes to the bill, it must go to a conference committee. A conference committee is made up of members from both houses. After the conference committee merges the two bills, the whole process must start over. So essentially, if one house approves it, then it goes to the other house and they make changes. They have to meet and talk about it and then decide whether or not they're going to continue with the bill. Then they have to start completely over from step basically 2 and roll back through with all the voting and all that and all the argument and filibusters and all that. Now, once it has been approved in both houses of Congress, it goes to the president. And the president has 4 options. First of all, he can sign the bill into law. That's the simplest. He can veto the bill, which means that he says, hey, I don't approve of this, we're not doing this. Or he can pocket veto it, and the president does not sign the bill, and it's killed after 10 days if Congress is not meeting. Now, if he does not sign the bill, it becomes a law after 10 days if Congress is meeting. So essentially, if the president does nothing with it, doesn't touch the bill, then it will become law automatically. If he does pocket veto it, it's killed after 10 days if Congress is not meeting. Now, there is a way that Congress can override the veto. If they get a 2/3 vote from both houses of Congress to override a veto, they can put it into law. You can see over on the right, bills vetoed and overridden since 1961. Not very many. And essentially, this is going to be kind of the standard going forward from that period of time. All right, so trying to get Lyndon B. Johnson didn't have any, John F. Kennedy didn't have any, George Bush had 4. vetoes overridden. Barack Obama only had 1. Gerald Ford had 12, by far the most of any sitting president, next to then Ronald Reagan had 9. So as you can see, it's not a uncommon process that has happened in our nation's history, but it is something that doesn't happen very regularly. All right, I know I did that pretty quickly, guys, but that's kind of just an overview of what's going on with how a bill becomes a law, okay, and just want to give you that simple process as well as trying to respect your time. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please make sure you're keeping up with your vocabulary. If you don't have any, I will talk to you soon.